Hi everyone, in today's project video, we're going to be making this bowl. It looks complicated, but it's really easy. I'm going to guide you through step by step to get great results just like this. Let's get started by covering the materials needed for today's project. I'm going to be using 3mm bass plywood. I can also use material that's upwards of 1/4 inch thick. When it comes to assembly of the project, I do recommend some quick setting super glue or Gorilla Glue. When it comes to the wood finish, when we're nearly complete, I have my option of leaving the wood a natural color, or I might opt for one of these two different colors of Kool-Aid mix to act as a nice, cheap, economical water-based stain. And to literally finish the project off, I'll be using a high-quality polyurethane spray. One of the really cool things about today's video is I can use virtually any laser machine as long as it's capable of cutting through the material that I have selected. This machine is the Reno 45-watt CO2 laser machine by Monport, and if I go down a little bit further, I also have the Xtool S1. This machine features a powerful 40-watt laser diode module, and this will be the machine I'm going to be using today. Next up, I'm going to jump into the computer and show you the graphic for today's project and how to create it so that you can change this project up and make it your very own. Let's check out the software in the Xtool XCS software. The graphic we're about ready to take a look at was originally designed within Lightburn software. Don't worry though, I am going to show you how I created the file within the Xtool software. Let's check it out. Here's the graphic in its entirety. I'll have a download link in the video description, minus the graphic in the center. That graphic is licensed to me and I'm not allowed to redistribute that. However, feel free to go over to pixabay.com and pick out your own graphic for personal use. Each of these red rings around that center graphic is going to be a cut line, and this is going to make the sides of the bowl. I'll zoom into the top of the project. If you do decide to make your own rings around the outside, just make sure that the outside peak and the lower dip, that they're going to be able to overlap the ring below it, because that ring is going to need something to be glued down to. As I mentioned before, I originally designed this file within Lightburn software and exported it as an SVG file, and it imports perfectly into the Xtool software. Next, let's take a look at how to create all these cut rings within the Xtool software, which, by the way, all the steps would be the same if you're using Lightburn software. First thing I need to do is select a circle and draw a perfect circle. I'll Control-C to copy it and Control-V to paste that. And next I'm going to place it right on top of the old one. From here, I'm going to uncheck this link so now that I can change the height and width separately from one another. I'm going to take that copy of that circle and just squish it down a little bit. I'm going to move it off center just a tad and stretch it out just a little bit and make sure that it's back centered up. That looks perfect. And from here, I just have to Control-C and Control-V to copy and paste another oval, and I'll place that right on top. Next, I'm going to grab this rotation handle, and right now I can move it to any position, but if I press and hold Shift, it's going to lock it into an increment, and I'm going to copy and paste this oval in each of these increments until it comes all the way over to this position. I'll do that and catch up with you in just a minute or two. The next step, I'll delete this first perfect circle, and my mouse cursor within the Xtool software doesn't allow me to just grab that. It's grabbing everything else but that. So I've got to take one of these ovals off to the side so I can grab the circle and hit delete. That problem I don't run into when I'm using Lightburn software. To put everything back, I'll just highlight that entire graphic and come over here to the alignment and align center, and everything is perfect. Next thing, I can highlight everything, and I'm going to tell it to combine everything together. And this is going to make up the shape of the rings for the bowl. I'll select it. I want to make sure that that aspect ratio is clicked, which it is. And now I can come over here and let's make this dimension something that's an even number. I think I'll start out with 75 millimeters. That looks good. And now I'm just going to make a copy and paste it. And off of that pasted copy, I'm going to add 5 millimeters. And I can Control C and Control V that one more time. And I'm just going to make a bunch of these rings, adding 5 millimeters onto the dimension each time. I'll continue this for as many layers as I would like. When I am all done, I can highlight all of them and come back up to the alignment tool and align to center. And there, now we start having all the rings for the cutout that very closely matches the ones that I designed within the Lightburn software. And since we're in the software yet, we'll take a look at my engraving settings, keeping in mind I'm using 3mm bass plywood, and I'm going to run at a power level of 20%, speed of 200 millimeters, lines per centimeter is 100. When we switch over to the cut lines, using a power level of 90% with a speed of 12 millimeters per second with only one pass being needed. Next, I'm going to get the material loaded up inside the machine, focus set, and the project framed out, and we'll watch a quick montage of this project being made in the Xtool S1 machine. This looks great. Before I remove the project out of the machine, I am going to take a damp cloth with a little bit of LA's Totally Awesome on it, and I'm going to wash away any of the smoke residue on the surface. That's all nice and clean, and I did pick up just a little bit of residue off the surface. Get the clamps out of the way, and I'll show you the next tip that I have. I'm going to take this big board out without disturbing anything. To keep all the pieces together so I can clean the bottom side, I am going to take some blue painter's tape and take off, maybe 1 or 2 strips of this. There, I'll pick up all the pieces at once, and now I can repeat the process. Damp cloth with that LA's Totally Awesome. Off camera, I gave this a little bit more of a cleaning. There is some residue that is still left over, but again, this is the bottom of the bowl, and I'm not so much concerned as I am with the top, which looks very, very clean. I'm going to leave the tape on, and we're going to head over to the main table and move on to the next step. This next part of the project offers quite a few creative options. If I like the color of just the bare wood, I could start gluing up all the different rings and maybe apply some finish over the top. However, in this video, since I have my project all taped together with full access to the back, I think I'm going to mix up one of these Kool-Aid packets with about half a pint of water to make some economical stain. Certainly, I could use a proper wood stain or a proper colored wood stain. However, I don't have any of those on hand, so this Kool-Aid packet, it's going to be. I do recommend getting the unsweetened kind. If I get the one that has a sweetener already added, usually that's going to leave the project material sticky, and nobody wants that. I'm going to get this mixed up, applied to the back of the project. I'm done applying the stain, and quite honestly, I was hoping for a little bit darker red. I think if I did this method again, I'd add more Kool-Aid packets or use far less water, but I think for this video, this red tint is still going to work out very well. This is still continuing to dry, so I'll set that off to the side. And that's going to give me a minute or two while we can look at the glue up options for today's project. On the example piece, I rotated every other ring the same amount and I get this really cool effect. The other option I have is I can rotate each ring a little bit and that starts to produce this nice spiral effect, and I think that's what I'm going to do when I go to glue up this one. And the very last one to get glued up. This is so satisfying to watch all of this come together. Because I'm using instant glue, I can use this accelerator and just spray the whole backside and make sure that all of that glue is set. That way I don't glue my project down to the table or glue my fingers to the backside. I'll give this just a couple seconds to set up. Before I flip this over, let's check out the back. Check out that cool spiral pattern, and this red tint from the stain is looking pretty good. When I flip this over for the big reveal, check that out. This is exactly the effect I was looking for. A very nice project. It looks complicated, but as we saw, it's really easy to make. The last thing I'll do to finish this project off is apply a couple coats of a nice polyurethane spray. 2 coats on the top and 2 on the bottom. I'll meet back up with you once that's all dry. Everything's all dry and this looks even better. Has a nice little sheen from that polyurethane spray with the back to match. It gets that red Kool-Aid stain to pop just a little bit more. I did notice, as I'm sure you did too, there is this lighter color band going through the engraving. That has nothing to do with the laser machine. That has to do with the quality of the plywood that I used. If I remade this project, I think I'd opt for a different piece of material. I had a great time creating today's project, and I'd encourage you to try this project out on your machine as well. I'd love to see your completed project. Head on over to the Laser Channel Facebook page and post a picture. Don't forget to show this video some love by giving it a like, subscribe to the channel, or ring that notification bell. Not only is it a great way to help the Laser Channel grow, it's an awesome way to connect video content like this with other great viewers just like you. Well, until we meet again in the next video, learn, create, and share.